33 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock in the morning. I beg your pardon. My name is Priva Elibaz. Welcome to our last segment of the show, which is our views. Of course, we do stream live on our website at www.ctv.co.ug. We also come to you live from GoTV, Airtel TV. We're on Star Times as well and free to air. Well, like I mentioned earlier on, it's time for our views. And today we're going to be looking at self-respect. And basically, to put it, self-respect is you knowing that you are so worthy and treating yourself accordingly. Basically, respecting yourself can be the first step to understanding that, you're deserving of love, consideration, and opportunities just like, everyone else. And joining me at the center of this conversation to deliberate more on this and, chop it up and give us more insight at the ladies up. Shivan Auma, Shivan Auma and Agu will say good morning, ladies.
Good morning. We're going to chop it up.
Chop it up.
Chop like Sundays.
We're going to chop it up and, give you better insight. So basically looking at self-respect, like I mentioned earlier on, it's more of like our level of self-respect is like a blueprint to instruct others how they can, engage with us and how they can treat us. And just like, to define self-respect again, it's basically you loving yourself and treating yourself with care. It's the result of staying true to your values and not being able to compromise on anything. Now, the more you engage in behaviors consistent with your beliefs and values, the more you will feel fulfilled and confident as well. Now, of course, this in turn will improve your sense of, well-being, and respecting yourself also prevents you from comparing yourself and your life with other people. And this may especially be important in today's digital world. You get on Instagram, you get on TikTok, and you're comparing yourself to people that you find out there. Yet everyone is fighting, their own demons. Everyone is fighting something. So self-comparison can really be a thief of self-respect, and research does show that especially people who are recovering from drug addictions and different types of addictions, they struggle with self-respect. But let's take a look at our video, then we'll get into the discussion at length. You see how he mentioned on the issue of, lack of self-respect. If you're at work and the boss tells you to do something, you're willing to do it. If you work in a restaurant and they're telling you to take out the trash, you're willing to take out the trash. But when it comes to you telling yourself, I need to do this, I need to go get this job, I need to start this YouTube channel, and then you fall back. What's the problem? Why is that, happening to yourself? That means there's a lack of respect, somewhere there in the middle. But what I want to ask you, ladies, our very first question, what are some of the ways that, you can say you've shown your self-respect?
I'll go first. Self-respect goes, first of all, by accepting that you are unique. If your name is Shivan Auma, there will never be another Shivan Auma Sheila. There'll just never be that person. There will never be someone that looks like me. Even if I had an identical twin, there would be something that makes us unique. For me, when it comes to self-respect, it comes from the fact of understanding that you are a unique being. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of sacrifice. You're worthy of respect. However, self-respect is something that doesn't come, no one can give it to you. You give it to yourself. That means being comfortable in your own skin. So you're never going to go ahead if you do not respect yourself. And I would say I'm one person when it comes to self-respect. Of course, my self-respect has been really, really shaken, especially when it comes to relationships. But it is very important that very many, when it comes to relationships, like I'm like, you know what? If I love this man and I'm fighting with him, to hell with self-respect. I need this man.
Fight for what's yours.
Yes, I need to fight for what's mine. But back to the question that you asked, one, setting your boundaries. I can tell you that my self-respect, when it comes to my boundaries, they will never waver. If I have set a boundary, that is it. If I always know that I'm worthy of something and I will not settle for less. Very many. Now you see, it's even goes all the way back to being to inferiority complex. You feel very inferior at all times, even when they tell you, no, you can go for that job. You can be a communications person. Like, but really, can I really get into that? That means you do not even respect yourself enough to take charge of that opportunity. So self-respect comes with, first of all, having self-esteem, loving yourself, and believing that you are truly worthy of so much more. And self-respect in many cases, unfortunately for the women, is not something that very many ladies actually have, especially because of the kind of society that we have grown in. We have grown to believe that this is what a woman is supposed to accomplish. After education, you're supposed to get married, you're supposed to be a mom, you're supposed to settle down. You're not looking at things as becoming a career woman, if you want to be an air hostess and all these things. Can you respect yourself enough to know that even as a woman, it is okay for you not to want to get married, and that's okay. But unfortunately, we do not respect ourselves enough to make certain decisions because we feel that we are not even worthy of them.
Yes, you asked in what ways we have, you know,
Would you
shown
say,
I have
yeah.
self-respected myself.
You wanted an
you know,
example?
Siobhan said that, yeah, self-respect comes with love, loving yourself enough, caring about yourself, taking care of yourself. But I will say that actually loving yourself is something really hard.
Oh yeah.
This is something that a journey that you might start and it never comes to an end. Every day you have to wake up, reassure yourself. I mean, today you could, you know, look at yourself and like, actually look good. Trust me, the next day you'll wake up feeling shitty, if that is even a word that I should use. I should use it air. But you get my point.
Yes.
So you actually have to now again motivate yourself to love yourself. However, on the part of self-respect, I'll say for me, the biggest level I have shown myself self-respect is going after my dreams. I'll tell you that while I was in high school, around Form 6, because around, HSC, that is when you're trying to ascertain who you want to be. There's two things I wanted. I either wanted to be a lawyer or to be a journalist. So I will not tell you the reason why I did not venture into law. I'll not tell you. But I will tell you that in my Form 6 vacation, I told my mom I wanted to be a radio presenter. And she told me, no, you can't do it. First of all, you're young. Second, you have no connections. It's a shrewd industry. How are you going to do it? I said, I will try. I'll tell you that no one helped me. But I walked into like about 5 radio stations. I was in Form 6 vac. I'd never done radio before. But I knew I wanted it and I knew I could do it. Irrespective of the fact that my mom tried to talk me out of it. So I went, and finally I actually got the job without anybody's help, on merit. I was, you know, I shot until that day. From that day, I said, you know what, it's me and my dreams. It doesn't matter what anyone has to say. It doesn't matter whether they think I'm not good enough. What I want is what I will go for. That is the biggest, highest level of self-respect that anyone can give to themselves. Creating boundaries is another one. What do you want? Who are you as a person? You see, sometimes we get lost in the mix of our friends, you know, of our family members, and you forget who you are, what you stand for, your values. Your values, it doesn't mean if we are from the same family, our values have to be the same. No.
Yeah.
You have to find out who you are, your values. What I was going to say, who are you, Siobhan? What do you want? But that is the truth. For someone out there, and then make sure you are firm on your boundaries. Do not let people cross you.
Just
never
like
let people cross you, because the moment you let them once, you let them twice, they'll walk over you. They'll know that is the way to go. And for me, the other one, biggest level of self-respect is removing yourself from spaces, from places where you don't belong, or where you feel you don't belong. You feel you're not appreciated, leave. You feel you're not loved, leave. You see, that is self-respect actually, that especially ladies, like you mentioned, we need to practice that a lot. It's not good. It's not good to find yourself in spaces where you're actually not comfortable, you're not happy. Just leave, go.
There's something
Well,
that
for me, just to carry the conversation, bring it back a little bit. For me, the very numerous ways I've expressed that I actually respect myself is when I stick to my values and beliefs. You know, anytime that I exercise one of the things that I actually do believe in and I feel like they're very desirable to my life, I feel like I'm actually respecting myself. You know, if I'm exercising integrity, if I'm being tolerant, if I'm, you know, sharing wisdom with someone, if I'm, you know, it can be so many ways. So for me, that's how I personally show myself self-respect. But then we can agree that self-respect is something that you can actually put on a spectrum. Like it's in the middle of you coming off as too proud or you coming off as a narcissist. And then there's that part of, you know, just being that there, like, you understand? So at what point do we say self-respect just doesn't cut it?
Self-respect doesn't
Yes,
cut it.
there are some situations and you're like, you know what, whether it's in your interpersonal relationships, maybe at work or with your friends or, you know, your relationships and all that. So what are some of the instances that you believe actually, you know what, self-respect will not have to cut it here? I don't care. It just won't come into play.
I mean, when someone is walking all over you, when they're disrespecting, I mean, if let's say at work earlier you mentioned like that, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that, and you still have to do everything. You're not, no man is an island. You cannot do everything. You have to respect yourself enough to know that you need some space, or you need, and standing up for yourself is one way that you can self-respect yourself. Stand up for yourself. Say, this is my stand because of this and this, I cannot do this. And be clear about it, be intentional about it. The other one is in our friendship. Sometimes we compromise when it comes to friends. We compromise on what we want. We compromise on how people treat us because maybe we love these people. I feel like if you feel that I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I hope I am. If you feel you're in a place where you're being disrespected, it doesn't matter whether it's a friend. It doesn't matter how much you love this person. tell them, and if they cannot change anything about it, then leave them, do away with them. So for me, self-respect, you know, yeah, just like you mentioned, people might actually say you're proud, you're proud, but what is the point of the other, taking it that people might say that I'm actually proud, and yet you're being compromised, yet you're not happy, yet you're being walked over, yet you're being underlooked, all those things. Stand up for yourself. For me, I will never say that someone, especially when they say someone who actually really respects themselves and stand up for themselves, for people to come on and say this person is proud. Well, I have gone through it, and you know, it doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze me, because that's what people will perceive you as. Truthfully, they will say this person is proud, because you respect yourself, because you stand up for yourself. But do you, at the end of the day, man, you're going to die, and you die alone. So
I like how pre-phrased the question, you know, because we are looking at the aspect of having self-respect, but again, you do not want to come off as proud. But again, there are those who are just there, like you will not react to a certain thing because you say, self-respect. But when it comes to things of the heart wants what it wants. Self-respect, like right there, out of the window. If it's a man that I want to be with and I genuinely want to be with him, that is exactly who I'm going to fight for. Then the other aspect is in work. I do not want to settle for less. So regardless of if someone is stepping on my head to get to a position or to get to a level where I want to get to, and for example, he or she is now playing dirty, we are both going to play dirty, because I'm very good at that game. We can play it we can play it the whole day, you know, because very many times people are, especially women, are taken advantage of because they are respecting themselves. Oh, I cannot fight in public. Your man has slapped you, you've gone in the restaurant, because you respect yourself, you cannot talk back at him. No, stand up for yourself, stand up for your rights. If it's a job that you want, go for it. Who is stopping you? You are the author of your own life. So at the end of the day, every choice that you make comes back to you. So yes, so for me, I would say when it comes to relationship, things of the heart, and also work, when it's in a workspace and I know I deserve to get this thing, I will work towards it. And if my colleague or someone around is playing dirty, then we shall play that game fair and square, because unfortunately, in this world, where will you get far ahead unless you have soiled a few hands?
Yeah, soiled a few hands. I think for me, what I have to say about situations where self-respect doesn't cut it is where you're being disrespected. Now, for me, people who know me personally, they know I do not let things slide more than once. Yes, one time is a mistake, 2 times seems a little bit deliberate. So for me, disrespect, if it comes the first time, I may cut you some slack, but the second time, I'm putting an end to that thing immediately, as immediate as possible. I feel like you did not want to say thing, you wanted to say another one. Yes, you get it, but then for me, we as people, we have to be able to put a distinction between being disrespected and being humble. You understand? People oftentimes misuse humility and how they apply it in their lives, because they think, you know, if you're humble, if someone walks all over you, it's okay, because they know, at the end of the day, Shivan is a humble girl, she's a good girl, but you're letting people disrespect you. You're not letting people see that you are so deserving, you know, of the respect, because, you know, respect is just the bare minimum at the end of it all. But what I want to ask you, ladies, at the end of the day is, like, what are some of the ways we can show ourselves respect, and also use it as a way to help people respect us as well?
One, understand that you are unique, and understand that the other person is unique. You see, the only way you can show another person that is not yourself that you respect them is by understanding that Aggie is unique. You might find that Aggie is an introvert, I'm an extrovert. You need to appreciate her the way she is. Do not try to change her. So that's understanding that I am unique and she's also unique. So that alone is already a sign of respect.
Each other,
exactly.
In our own,
understanding, like exactly. But also understanding someone's boundaries. There are people, my little sister, for example, me, I'm a very touchy person. Like, I want to hug, I want to peck, I want to do all these things. But for her, she doesn't like those things. And I respect that. Unfortunately or fortunately for me, it is my way of showing love to her. I would want to hug her and kiss her and peck her, but she doesn't allow me to do these things. But I have respected her that she is the way she is, and that's okay. So one, for me, the first thing would be is understanding that everyone is unique. Do not think that everyone is going to treat you a certain way, or do not expect that everyone is going to act or react to a situation the way you would.
The same way you would.
Understanding that everyone is unique and respecting people's boundaries. But also sticking to your principles. You know, our principles, Wevi, when we say we don't want to date daddy's girls, but you also don't want to date mama's boy. So what do you want in life? So stick to your principles. Make sure that your principles are well laid out and there are things that you stick to. Do not waver when circumstances are changing. Then you will know that you're actually respecting yourself and respecting others.
And respecting others.
For me, I would say, first of all, know who you are and what you want, and make it known to people. You know, I don't believe in the thing of, you know, they say respect is earned. Sometimes you have to demand for it. Especially when you're being disrespected. You have to tell the people, call them out on their behavior. You have to demand for that respect. And if they cannot respect you, then, I mean, like, remove yourself from the equation, like I mentioned earlier. But also stick to your boundaries. Stick to your values as a person. Because, you know, sometimes you say, oh, I respect myself, I love myself, I want this, I don't want this guy to treat me like this. But you're putting up with it.
Yeah.
Or you actually, maybe you don't even believe what you say. When you say I'm deserving of love, you don't even believe it yourself. That is why you find yourself settling for less. If he's giving you probably not even a phone call, not even a message, and you're making excuses for him. Yeah. You already do not respect yourself as a person. Much as you say, you could actually be like, I want you to do this, call me, text me. But if they don't do it, you still are not following through and maybe cutting them off or making it known to them that if you don't actually treat me this way, I'm out of this. So they get comfortable and continue doing what they have to do. So for me, set your boundaries, know who you are first of all, because at the end of the day, you have to know yourself before people get to know you. Some of us don't even know who we are. We don't even know what we want. We're just there meandering and navigating through life.
And going through
just like that.
And
so yes, and then set your boundaries and stick to them and demand for that respect. If it cannot be given to you, demand for it.
There is a novel I was reading on self-respect. I've forgotten the author. And among the chapters that he wrote, he said, don't try to be normal. So that particular chapter caught my attention, and I'm like, what do you mean do not try to be normal? Are you trying to say that there are people who are actually abnormal? But he went on and explained, and you see, very many times the best way that you can actually respect yourself is don't try so hard to fit in. It's okay for you not to fit in. It's okay if for you, while other people are wearing heels and you want to wear your flat sandals, as long as they're unique and, you know, very classy, go right ahead. Do not try to be do not try so hard to be normal, because at the end of the day, he said we are all a bunch of abnormal people, because I would see you as an abnormal person. I would parent up and say, Priva takes porridge with a spoon. Who does that, you know? And I'll look at you, Aggie, and I'm saying you're taking cereal in a cup. I'm like, who does that? Isn't cereal supposed to be taken in a bowl?
Yeah.
So do not try so hard to be normal. That is the easiest way to action. Just be you.
I like that. So we're looking at the ways to show your self-respect and actually teaching others to do the same to you. Number one, you have to figure out what makes you respect yourself. First, look within and question what practices make you feel your absolute best. Then pay yourself the respect of prioritizing them daily. Now, these practices could be as easy as, you know, exercising regularly, starting every day with a green juice, or maybe being under the covers by 10 p.m. All those are ways a person can actually show themselves self-respect. Then the other bit, you have to be honest about who you are and who you aren't. I think that it is highlighted on that. Then you have to respect yourself by taking action around the things that excite you. Yes, taking action on the unknown can be very scary stuff. However, we are never guaranteed of our ideal outcome, and that can cause us to retreat big time, by the way. But the most successful people aren't afraid to try something new. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard, and the rest is history. The guy is a billionaire. The guy has a lot of money. So, you
but
know,
don't use that as an example not to go to school.
Yeah, no, go to school, finish school. Here we're all about, you know, going to school and actually getting that degree or that qualification. Yes, that paper that we normally call it. Then stop trying so hard to be normal. She gave a very beautiful explanation on that. Then we also, I think it was Wase or you who mentioned on the fact that, you know, don't let other people define your boundaries. Yeah. Okay, yes. Many people have good intentions, but their advice is often clouded by their emotional baggage. So when someone tells you, you'll never be able to do that, or you shouldn't, or you can't, ignore them until you've figured out for yourself what is actually true. We're not living for other people, we are living for ourselves. Then the other bit you can actually show your self-respect and then help others do the same for you is learn to say no. Letting others know what isn't okay doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a strong and respectable person. When you stop saying yes to things you do not want to do, you create more time and energy to engage with the activities and people that do make you happy. Now, choose a partner who respects you. That's also a way you can respect yourself and actually have someone do the same for you. You know, the first place all of us then, you know, to throw self-respect out of the window is dating. Like Shivan mentioned,
Compromising on what you want.
you know, the very first instance, like the very easiest example to actually throw self-respect out of the window is really truly dating. And you know, it's like you speak to so many people and you're like, wow, like they seem so bright, so intelligent on the, you know, on the surface, even how they speak to you, but once they get into matters of
Emotions, love.
emotions just overcloud their judgment.
I'm not going to lie about it. The heart does want what it wants.
But the heart is very deceitful.
Very.
And sometimes
That's a conversation for another day.
You have to use your mind. You have to use your mind, otherwise.
Yeah, but if you're actually in a relationship and you're compromising so hard, please muster up that energy and walk away.
No, that's
step
why it
away.
becomes very,
step away. Then the other bit, let whatever you get done today be enough. You know, showing self-respect means you're not being overly critical, judgmental, or restrictive to yourself.
Yes.
You know,
don't
it's so easy
restrict
to chain ourselves to a to-do list and then gauge our worthiness on its completion. But take your time, you know, figure it out. If it takes you 2 days and it's going to take someone else an hour, it's fine. You know, but
as long as you complete.
Yes, just let whatever you get done that particular day be enough for you. Then also, you know that you're not your genes, yes, but you could spend a lifetime untying the knots of your family life, but that's your choice. Conversely, at any point, you can reflect on your childhood influences and declare, this is not my story, I am not my genes. And lastly, apologize with self-respect. Saying I'm sorry is very pleasant.
From
Say
the
it.
heart.
From the heart.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Don't say sorry because sorry. No, say sorry.
Okay, ladies, in just a very, 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 very few seconds, our final parting shots.
Mine would be when you shake, I'm not going to mention any brand, when you shake a soda bottle and you open it, what happens? It spills over.
Yeah.
You do not have to be a soda bottle all the time. Once in a while, be water. When you're shaken, remain calm. Do not be a guest to every argument you're invited to.
Don't fall for it.
That is self-respect.
I love
Okay.
that.
For me, I would say love yourself enough to remove yourself from spaces and equations where you do not belong. Now, we actually do show people how to treat us, how you treat yourself. That is part of self-respect. How you love yourself, how you treat yourself sets precedent for how other people are going to treat you. So make sure that you're loving yourself enough before you actually, you know, put it on other people to love you the way that you want to be loved.
Yet you're not
And
even
respected.
yourself.
Like, do it fast. Like, show us, and then we'll do
Then
exactly
we'll, you know,
that.
follow
Exactly.
suit. I totally agree with that. Thank you so much, ladies, for your submissions. But as I leave, I'm going to leave you with ways that you can build self-respect. Number one, assertiveness. Recognize when people disrespect you and take steps to stop it. A person with self-respect doesn't allow others to treat them badly and would rather not associate with someone who is disrespectful. When someone doesn't give you basic respect, you need to be able to say in one way or another, you just disrespected me and that's not acceptable to me. So stand up for yourself. Yes. Then the other bit is self-acceptance. Get to know yourself. The more you understand yourself, the more you will appreciate how unique you are. Discover your own values, personality, and abilities as well. Stop people-pleasing and start developing your own character and standards. Then we also have the bit of spirituality. True self-respect brings inner peace. Spirituality nurtures that inner peace. Do not reject this side of your personality. The journey towards spirituality can be an exciting and deeply satisfying experience. So, you know, get in touch with your faith. It's very, very important. Then we have realism, learn to handle criticism. We are all sensitive beings. So to maintain a sense of self-respect, we need to learn how to deal with criticism. Do not take criticism personally. Look at it from a detached perspective. Then we have the bit of focusing. It is the motivation that matters, not the actual results. The problem is that we equate our self-respect to outer displays of wealth, success, and social standing, which can be a terrible, terrible mistake. Then we have forgiveness. Forgive others and forgive yourself. Don't live in the past. Move on from past mistakes and difficult situations as well. Then we have the bit of respecting others, humility. We did speak of humility as well. And we said the way to self-respect is not through praise from others, which gives a false sense of pride. Be selfless. Lastly, we have self-love. Never hate yourself. This can become a dangerous habit. We make mistakes, we may do wrong things, but we should never put ourselves down unnecessarily. When you make a mistake, pick yourself up and keep it moving. And lastly, responsibility, yes. Make a conscious decision that you are no longer going to take the victim role. You're responsible for your life and only you can make that change happen. I think I've said it all.
Yes, you have.
I think I've said it all. So today, as you go out with your day, please make sure you endeavor to respect yourself, because that's the only way other people will be able to give you the same respect that you are so deserving of. My name is Priva Elibaz. Good morning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise at Sea this morning. It's a beautiful and bright Monday morning, the 25th of July, 2022. We had amazing conversations from the Twitter jabs and now talking about self-respect on our views. Yes, and just like the ladies and I, had this conversation, we hope that you actually picked a thing or two to practice, not just today, but every other day of your life. Well, catch us tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good day.